Welcome to another episode of View 8, right? Where we discuss pertinent nutritional issues relating to the student populace. Today, though, is a special episode, which is why is it special? I know you're asking that question. Yes, it's going national. It's not going to be limited to the four walls of this institution. It's a topic that is going to be intriguing and captivating and going to be a very huge learning opportunity. I'm joined here by
Naima Machi, Rebecca Draka.
Ellie Isibasa. So just and try to cup.
Yes, give me David Kudru, your host. And we are going to have a friendly discussion about nutritional myths versus science, what the Ghanaians believe, and then what science actually really says. Personally, growing up, I was exposed to several myths, but the one that was the most popular and the one that was the most common was the ones with regards to anemia. Yes. So a very popular one was taking milk and malts, which was believed to increase blood levels. And from my little reading, I realized this was false, and there's a lot of evidence to debunk this. So malt is made up of malted grains and barley, which contain phenols or polyphenols, which are known to impede or prevent iron absorption when TKA. To add to that, calcium is also contained in milk, which also adds to that, preventing proper absorption of iron, leading to malabsorption, which can rather lead to anemia instead of the lies that we were told as children. Also, there was another myth where we were told to take tomatoes and Coca-Cola, believing it had the ability to increase our blood levels. And this was a big lie because our parents thought because of the color red and the pigment of the tomatoes, we were going to have increased blood levels. But then research and evidence is there to back that. Caffeine is contained in Coca-Cola, and caffeine is a non-inhibitor of iron absorption. Also, tomatoes contain vitamin C, which can aid in iron absorption, but it depends on the diet and inclusivity of the diet, which can lead to essential absorption of these nutrients. So before we started these sheets, Emma was making a rant about diabetes. That's A. People with diabetes cannot take stuff high in sugar or cannot even take carbohydrates at all. Emma, what do you have to say about this?
So diabetes doesn't stop you from taking fruits. When you have diabetes, you can take fruits. It's all about portion sizes. That's what matters. And like you just have to make smart choices and check the moderation and everything. That's it. And pairing, you can pair your fruits with proteins and other things to make it like balance. So you can pair your banana with peanuts, you can pair your apple with boiled eggs and all that. So diabetes doesn't mean no fruits, no. And this whole fact about contomere and like excessive boiling and all that, that's not necessary. You can just use your contomere without boiling it, or you boil it a little and add the stock to the base to make up the stew. Because if you throw the stock away, you're throwing all the nutrients away, and that's basically trash. You're eating without getting anything from it. Then we don't want that. So yeah, so
Yes, so Becca, Becca. Ghanaians have this view that affording a healthy lifestyle is very expensive and it's a very hard thing to do. What do you have to say about that?
And also, if you are doing that, they will say you are a gay. But it's never true because you eating healthily is just a thing of the mindset. You just have to set your mind that you eat a balanced diet, which includes adding a fruit to every meal you eat. Eating healthily doesn't necessarily mean we have to be eating pizza, french fries, juices, and all those things. But then it requires you eating nutrient dense foods. Like, let's take our fruits for example. They are rich in fiber and then vitamins. When we take our proteins to it, they are very nutrient dense foods. So we just have to be eating balanced meals every time. It doesn't mean you'd have to have money in order for you to eat properly, no. Of course, it doesn't require a wealthy budget. It's just a mindset and then proper planning.
Well, yes. So yes, So Ghanaians have this obsolete behavior where they give negative PR to certain foods and actually put other foods on a huge pedestal, like proteins. Proteins, I'm not going to say are overrated, but then we have to consider the other nutrients. Don't you think so?
Yes.
So yes. So Ellen here is coming to talk about palm oil, right? Palm oil, which is supposed to be natural, has been given negative PR. Why should that be debunked? And why should this be debunked? So I'll give the platform to Ellen to shed more light on that.
So, yes, people have this belief that eating palm oil increases causes heart disease, but it's not true. Palm oil is a protein saturated and unsaturated fats, and it's also cholesterol every year. So when used in moderation, yes, as part of our balanced diet, it does not it does not causes heart disease. Yes, and also people also have this belief that eating palm oil also causes high blood pressure, but it's also not true. Yes, but palm oil itself does not feel causes high blood pressure. Yes. Eating excessive food high in sodium. Yes. That's and rather causes high blood pressure. And how to bear in mind that palm oil um is rich in vitamin A, yeah, which is high in beta carotene. Yes, and it also support good vision. Yeah, provides energy. It also contains vitamin A. Yeah, and it counts for
Hey, vitamin A. The little I know is that it helps your eyesight. So I don't, palm oil is very healthy for you. So I don't even know where that made for your skin. Keratinal properties and all. So I don't know where this made of. See, no one's a diary. Yeah, so pepper. I know pepper adds a bit of spice to life. But then why did pepper become such a bad thing in the past, according to our grandparents? They gave it such a negative PR. I want to know why. So, here to make us in.
So people confuse some symptoms like acid reflux as a result of eating too much pepper. Because even when we buy food containing too much pepper, we think because they're having some acid reflux is because of the pepper. But people mistakes pepper with ulcer. But ulcer is mainly caused by H. pylori infection or maybe some medications. You can even use pepper a lot, just that you have to use it in moderation. Yeah. And then they also even have this saying that fufu is also not for diabetic patients. Diabetic patient can enjoy any food, just that they have it in mind. You see them there is this scientific thing. Diabetes is as a result of glucose, end product of glucose. So they have it in mind too much of glucose food, carbohydrate food um mm, can cause diabetes. Where you can eat the food, you can eat it for any time. Then I have to make sure you take even more to it. And just the portion control area and the carrot. You also have to make sure the cassava is low and the plantain is very big. Like plantain is very tweety. Yeah, that's what I was also say about.
Yeah, so Charity too says she has something interesting, but she has been telling me a lot in my ear, so you started to. There's all points to know more. So Charity, the floor is yours.
Okay, so it's actually amazing how our grandparents and old folk come up with all this myths. Because how can you tell me that when a child is given eggs or meat, he or she is likely to become a kid? This is really ridiculous because looking at eggs and meat, they contain essential nutrients like zinc, iron, kaolin. That that gives
that builds up this child's muscles, to develop their brains and everything. So you not giving the child, you can see the amount of nutrients the child is
going to lose. What's that doing more harm than good to the person, of course?
it's looking at iron like this. It helps in red blood cell formation and energy. Vitamin B12 also gives brain and nerve health. So all these nutrients are going to help the child. So I'll urge all mothers to try and inculcate the habit of giving fish, eggs, and meats to their children, but in moderation, because if you give it excessively, it's going to also affect their health in the future. That's what I.
And they even have this saying that fruits and vegetables are made for sick people. You can eat fruits anytime, provided you are not even sick. You don't have to wait before you get sick before you think it's anytime, by even adding milk to it. Fruit salad on your way.
It's very important.
Yeah, the affordability. They have this mindset that fruits are expensive. So you buy the ones in season. At that time, it is very
Very low price.
yeah.
And you freezing them doesn't mean its nutrients are being extracted from it. You are just mocking the nutrients in mayonnaise.
Mango per se is eating very nice and frozen. Very interesting.
So I believe you was here, but everything is time bound. I mean, the Bible tells us that the world will come to an end one day. So we also have to come to the end of this. I hope we've learned a lot and you are getting to know more. Because you realize what ignorance can do, right? And now we know the aftermath of most of the ignorance.
Nice, yeah.
We have it made available to us to watch out. So now I entreat you all. This is my tip. I hope that we take these submissions, do a lot of research, and actually aspire to know more concerning our nutrition. Don't let it be a trivial thing in our lives, but a very important and hallmark feature of our living. Let's try to break the cycle of ignorance. Let's actually paint a better picture of intake to our children and let the next generation do better than us. Yes. So this podcast was proudly brought to you by the Department of Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics of the University of Cape Coast. And you have a very important announcement. If I don't do this, they are going to scam me alive. So just give me a few seconds. So they said the payment of the departmental users layer. And they need that for a lot of projects and a lot of programs. So I entreat you all to make the efforts to make your payments. Right. So thank you very much for sticking and staying with us. And we hope you enjoyed this journey a little bit as. So good night. Godspeed.